Welcome back to the second episode of Figuring Out with Dean. Last episode I talked about how I didn't have to take the hood fan off. Well, I'm going to have to pull the whole thing down today. Basically because this is the knockout that we took off last episode. And well, there's not just a generic part that you can buy to fit this hole. There's supposed to be a piece that came when you purchase this hood fan that I do not have. And I looked up how to buy the part that would fit this hole. But basically you have to buy a whole new hood fan. So we're not going to do that. So in this episode, we are going to take off the whole hood. And we are going to create a piece with a duct that will fit this kind of hole. So let's get started. I'm going to bring you guys over here, and first thing we're going to do is we're going to unwire the hood fan. Now, yes, there is a power cord that connects to an outlet up there, and I could pull it off, and we could do it safely, but I want to show you guys how you would unwire or do anything with electricity while it's live. And it is very safe. It's only 120 volts. It's only a 20 amp circuit. I mean, you're not going to kill yourself getting shocked by this. But I want to show you guys like how you can get shocked and what to do to prevent yourself from getting shocked. Or worse, blowing up your tools or blowing up metal parts. Because that's actually more dangerous, especially when you're dealing with higher voltages, is arcing. Arcing on metal will create molten little shrapnel beads. It'll mess you up. Now, this is such low power that this would never happen, but I just want you guys to see what it's like working on a live electrical circuit. So I'm going to bring the camera over here, and I'll show you guys how to unwire the hood fan. Right. Right, well, we'll turn on our fancy flashlight from my daughter's other dad. Okay, so this is pretty standard 120 volt system. You have a ground, a neutral, and power in. Yeah, I guess you could call it line, load, ground, fancy terms. Basically, you have your ground here. When we wire anything, when we unwire anything, we want to unwire the ground last. Okay? When you wire something, you want to wire the ground first. But in this instance, I just want to show you what the ground does. Right? So anything in life takes the path of least resistance, like electricity. When you have lightning, it comes down and goes to the earth, to the ground, right? So when you wire houses, you wire anything, the ground doesn't actually do anything for you power-wise. You don't need a ground to have electricity. The ground is all about safety, right? So if you have a fault in the system, it'll send power through the ground back to the earth, and you won't get hurt, right? But I just want to show you that there's no power in the ground. I can touch it, I can do whatever, I can put it on the metal, and nothing happens, right? But just to teach you guys the right way, we're gonna put that back for now. Okay? What we're going to disconnect first is our line. Now, the reason I disconnect the line first is because it's the one that's bringing power here, right? And yeah, you can disconnect this one first. It really doesn't matter which one you disconnect first. I personally like to disconnect this one first because it's the one that'll bite you. And I like to cap it off and then not have to worry about anything else after that. So we're going to take that off. Now, Okay, we're going to separate the wires here. And I just want to show you, right, since my feet are not connected to the earth, right, or anything that's grounded, okay, this literally has live power in it right now, okay. I can touch it. I'm fine, right? Because it is not going to go through me. It has nowhere to go, right? So we're going to cap this wire off because this is the one that feeds the hood. This one doesn't do anything now. The power's been disconnected. So we'll put our cap back on, our wire nut. Okay. Cool. Now we have to disconnect the neutral here. Put the cap on that just in case. There's no power in this white wire at all. The white wire is what feeds the power back to the panel. Then we can connect our ground. Bammo, we're disconnected. Okay, now what we have to do is we have to pull this wire out, right? So since this is live power, I can't just yank it out through the same hole because the wires are connect and they're going to create a spark or an arc, or it's not going to be good if you just pull it out like this. So I'll show you how to pull live electrical wires through a hole. There's two ways you could do it. You could honestly just take some cutters and snip the black wire, and it won't connect anything, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to put some electrical tape over the wire to stop us from connecting to other wires. See, but this is why I capped the other wire, is because I don't want to get shocked by this live wire by connecting myself to it. So what we'll do here is, one, we're gonna fold this like that. I mean, you can really do it anyway, it doesn't matter, but then we'll put the tape on like this. Okay, and then we'll run it in a circle like that. The whole point here is just to make sure that this wire does not connect to anything when we're pulling it out of the hole. Cool. Golden. This wire, since there's no power into it because it's not connected to the black wire, we're just going to take this cap off like that. Then I'm going to come up here. Oh. Just pull the wire out. Wire's been pulled, and we are totally safe. And actually, now that we're done here with that, I will pull that wire out of the outlet up there just to be safe that there's no power in that wire while it's chilling up there. Cool. So we disconnected power. Next step is to pull the screws and take this hood fan down. Oh, let's get off the ladder for a minute here. So we will see, we've got 1, 2, looks like 5 screws in this guy. Oh. Oh. Okay, got one. Like in our last video, our trusty cup. Okay. So this is going to be our weighted side. So I want this screw to be the last screw. There was 2 right next to each other. That's why I pulled that one out. Pull this one. Oh man. Ooh. See, that's why I tell you, look, to invest in good screwdrivers, magnetic, but we want to save the washer and screw. So we're going to use those to put this back up. Okay, I took that one out. Now I'll take the one out in this corner right here. Oh. Well, I'm not sure where that screw went, but good thing there was 5 in there, right? Okay, so we have 2 screws left. Like I said earlier, it didn't matter with that fan because I don't know what I thought. I thought maybe the motor would come down with it. It didn't matter. But this time it actually does matter because the weight of this hood is going to be over here, right? So this is going to want to be the last screw you take out, whatever side's the heaviest. So we're going to go for the lighter screw here. Ooh, boom. So this is why I was saying in the earlier video to use a hand screwdriver. We screwed into wood, so it's not as easy to take out as if just screwing into something threaded. But you see how like the screw just drops like that, and that's how you lose screws, by using power drills. But it's not worth the time it takes to do it by hand. That's when men were stronger, before power tools. Okay, I got 1 screw left. I don't know if you can see right here, but it looks like when they did the tile, there's mortar connected to the hood. So that's going to help us actually not have the weight just drop off on us immediately. But we probably will have to break it loose once we get this screw out. We'll see what happens. And they screwed this one at an angle, not even straight, of course. Okay. Our hood is loose. And the screw dropped in a really great spot for us. So, there we go. Oh, yep, it is connected to the mortar. Oh, there we go. Hood is out. Okay, well, we'll bring you over this way now. And this is that crescent I was talking about. Now, first things first, I'll flip this hood the other direction so you can see what I'm talking about. Since this was a recirculating hood, you see this piece right here. This was meant to blow the air out, right? Well, if you can see by the screw holes right here, as there's supposed to be a piece I'm supposed to put here to stop the airflow through here, because basically when this fan spinned, it shot air out here, which was setting off my smoke alarms. So I have to seal this, right? First things we're going to do is we're going to take some measurements, okay? So we got, looks like 10 and 1/8. All right. Now when you use a tape measure, a lot of people like rulers because you don't have to deal with this piece, right? But I just put the 1 on the 1. Now you can really measure any way you want to, as long as it makes sense in your brain. And I'll show you what I mean when we go out and we actually cut this piece. So let me just remember, measure twice, cut once. So we're looking at 10 and 1/8 by 1 and 5/8. So 10 and 1/8 by 1 and 5/8. 10 and 1/8 by 1 and 5/8. All right. Well, we're gonna hold on. Let me get you framed here for a minute. Okay, so we know what measurement we need to cut to fit this. So we're gonna go outside and we're gonna cut this piece to fit the gap here to stop air from coming in through here, because what we want to do is we want to basically create a seal that sucks all the grease and steam from when we're frying our foods. All right, well, let's go outside now, huh?